Welcome back to the channel. We got a fun article for you today. 16 weird US laws that still haven't been taken off the books. Laws are meant to keep things in order, but sometimes they don't make much sense, especially when they've been around for centuries without being updated. It's safe to say that every state has its fair share of bizarre rules, where many of them were written for reasons that made sense at the time, but now seem widely ridiculous. In this article, we look at 16 laws that make no sense, yet are still in effect. First law is in Alabama, it's illegal to wear a fake mustache in church. There's something you probably didn't expect. Alabama has a law that makes it illegal to wear fake mustache in church if it causes laughter. While the exact reasoning behind this rule isn't well documented, it was likely created to maintain a respectful and serious atmosphere during religious services. The next law says that in Arizona, it's illegal for a donkey to sleep in a bathtub. Of all the strange laws in America, Arizona's ban on donkeys sleeping in bathtubs is one of the most oddly specific. This law reportedly dates back to the early 1920s when a rancher's donkey developed the habit of napping in an old, abandoned bathtub on his property. One fateful day, heavy rains caused flooding, and the bathtub and donkey were washed away down a river. The next law is that in Connecticut, it's illegal to sell a pickle that doesn't bounce. Believe it or not, Connecticut has a law stating that a pickle must bounce to be legally sold. This unusual rule originated in 1948 when two pickle vendors were caught selling unsafe, low-quality pickles. To determine whether a pickle was fit for human consumption, officials came up with a test that involved dropping it from a short height and seeing if it bounced. The next law says that in Florida, it's illegal to sell your children. It might sound obvious, but Florida felt they need to put it in writing that selling children is strictly against the law. While human trafficking laws exist nationwide, Florida's statute explicitly states that it is illegal to sell or barter a minor under any circumstances. The fact that this law had to be specifically written suggests that at some point someone may have tried to argue otherwise. The next law says that in Georgia, you can't keep an ice cream cone in your back pocket on Sundays. This one sounds too strange to be true, but in Georgia, it's illegal to carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket on Sundays. As ridiculous as it sounds, this law actually has a historical purpose where horse thieves used to place ice cream cones in their pockets to lure away someone else's horse without technically stealing it. The next law states that in Indiana, it's illegal to catch fish with your bare hands. Many laws exist to protect wildlife, but Indiana takes it to another level by making it illegal to catch fish with your bare hands, also known as noodling. This practice involves grabbing catfish straight out of the water and is a method that was used for centuries before. The next law states that in Kentucky, women can't marry the same man 4 times. The chances are lawmakers in Kentucky wanted to put a stop to unnecessary weddings because the state has a law that makes it illegal for women to marry the same man 4 times. While it's unclear how often this situation has actually occurred, it's likely that there was a case where a couple kept divorcing and remarrying, leading to frustration. The next law states that in Louisiana, it's illegal to send someone a surprise pizza. It might seem like a thoughtful gesture, but ordering a pizza for a friend is actually illegal in Louisiana. This law was likely created to prevent prank deliveries where people would send large amounts of food to someone else's house as a joke. The next law states that in Minnesota, it's illegal to grease a pig for a contest. If you've ever dreamed of chasing a greased pig at a fair, you might want to think twice before doing it in Minnesota. The state actually has a law that prohibits greasing a pig and releasing it for a contest or event. At one time, greased pig chases were popular attraction at fairs and festivals, where participants would attempt to catch a slippery pig for prizes. The next law states that in Montana, it's illegal to give a rat as a gift. When it comes to strange gift-giving restrictions, Montana might take the cake. The state has a law that makes it illegal to give someone a rat as a present, most likely in an effort to prevent rodent infestations. While rats can be kept as pets, they are also known to be pests that can spread disease and cause damage to buildings. The next law states that in Nebraska, you can't get married if you have an STD. At some point in Nebraska's history, lawmakers decided that people with sexually transmitted diseases should not be allowed to get married. This outdated law was likely put in place during a time when certain infections were poorly understood and treatment options were limited. The next law states that in New Jersey, it's illegal to slurp your soup. Table manners are important, but New Jersey takes dining etiquette to another level with a law that makes it illegal to slurp your soup in public. While the rule was probably meant to encourage polite eating habits, making noisy dining a criminal offense seems like a bit of an overreach. The next law says that in North Carolina, it's illegal to hold a meeting in a cemetery. Most people can agree that gathering in cemeteries might not be a common activity, but in North Carolina, it's actually against the law to hold a meeting in one. This rule was created to prevent disturbances or unauthorized events from taking place on burial grounds. The next law states that in Ohio, you can't get a fish drunk. In case you were planning on throwing a wild party for your pet goldfish, Ohio has a law that specifically prohibits giving alcohol to fish. The origins of this law aren't entirely clear, but it was probably written to prevent cruelty to animals or to discourage people from contaminating water sources. The next law states that in Oklahoma, you can't make ugly faces at dogs. If you're in Oklahoma, you might want to think twice before making a funny face at a dog. The state actually has a law that prohibits making ugly faces at dogs, though it's unclear how exactly this rule came to be. It's possible that it was meant to prevent people from taunting or harassing animals, but the wording makes it sound absolutely ridiculous. And the final law today says that in South Carolina, you must take your carriage horse home at night. Charleston is known for its historic charm, and part of that includes horse-drawn carriages that take tourists through the city. However, South Carolina has a law stating that carriage horses must be taken home at night and cannot be left out on the streets. The rule was likely created to prevent animal mistreatment and to keep streets clear after business hours. Alright, there you have it, 16 weird US laws that still haven't been taken off the books. What'd you think of this article? It's pretty crazy stuff, right? Which of these laws did you think was the most wild? Put it in the comment section. I'd be interested to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, please take a second to hit that like button. You can hit that big thumbs up like button now. And if you really enjoy this sort of content, consider subscribing to the channel.